Please give it up for David Crabb.
I'm gonna be 40 this year. Basically, after many, many years of bad health insurance, no health insurance, sliding scale clinics, 2 months ago I finally got real health insurance that covers everything. And I had been on like a medical vacation. As a hangnail, I need a specialist, $20 copay. Like, I love it. I'm gonna take care of all of this. And not long ago I hurt my shoulder, so I went to an orthopedic doctor. Now, people have talked to me before about orthopedic doctors and the interns, and about how they are guys that used to play sports and they're jocks, and boy, they are not lying. I have the hottest fucking orthopedic staff in the whole world. So I get there because I have to have these MRIs. And I've never had an MRI before, and the first thing I have to do is get this series of injections in my shoulder. So I go into this very, very cold room, and I'm laying, you know, in the gown, and it always writes so that like your underwear ass is showing, and it's just a very vulnerable position. And when I look up, and the hottest dude I've ever seen in my life, he hasn't shaved, he's doing the stubble. He's probably like 28 years old. His pecs are literally ripping out of his shirt. Like the buttons of his shirt are doing that, you know what I mean? Wants out and wants me out. And it is cold in there. His nipples are like, and I'm doing that thing as he talks to me about what's happening, where I'm trying so hard to look at him in the face that I feel like it's creepier than if I just like checked him out. You know what I mean? It's that locker room mantra I had in middle school, like, don't look down, don't look down. And he's talking about what's going to happen. And as he readies the injection area, another doctor comes in. At this point, I'm laying on my side, and I look, so everything is like, I'm seeing everything on its side, and the hottest, like, Greek guy comes in. He's so hot, he's bursting out of his shirt, everything. He's wearing khakis. I don't know how they cut khaki. I've never seen khakis like this on a man. His eyes, balls, everything bursting out of his head. And he walks up, and it's shit's like up in my grill, like sideways, you know? So I'm looking up at him. I shake his like warm giant hand, and he starts to tell me more about what they're gonna do to my body and how they're gonna touch me. And I'm like, health insurance is awesome. So the needle goes in my shoulder, and they tell me it's gonna be very painful, and it is. It's immediately very, very painful. It stings quite badly, and they're watching a monitor because what they have to do is it's a very sort of delicate area in there, so they have to get the needle in just the right spot. And they're standing over me. I can't see them anymore, and this is all I hear. All right, yeah, a little deeper then. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, just a little bit to the left. Oh yeah, that's right. Like over. It's like 15 minutes. I'm just laying there. It is like the weirdest, hottest, most painful David Cronenberg sort of like sex experience. I can't put my finger on what I'm experiencing. I want it, but I don't. But I do. It hurts, but it feels good. And the whole time I'm just staring at this like khaki-bound basket of dick throughout. So they wrap me up and they say, you're gonna go to the room now, you're gonna get the MRI. Fine. So I go and I meet the technician, who is this lovely woman named Becky. She's wearing baby blue scrubs with little pink marimbas all over them. And she takes me in the room. How many of you had MRIs before? Okay, a fair amount of you. So I'm like, yeah, I've seen them on TV, I know what happens. I lay down on the little table in my little gown. And then I look up above my head into this tunnel that seems much smaller once you're about to go inside, and I suddenly feel like Jo Beth Williams in that scene in Poltergeist where she runs down the hallway, Carolyn! And it's so loud. And I'm looking at Becky and I'm like, I'm not so sure. I'm scared. And I don't have phobias like heights or like I walk under ladders. I'm fine, and I'm starting to freak out a little bit. She's like, it's gonna be fine. Put these earplugs in. We're gonna put headphones over. Do you want music? And I'm like, sure. And all of a sudden, like, I'm so scared that like picking the right artist is like the biggest challenge, and I just can't think. I'm like going through my Spotify playlist, and I'm like, The Smiths. She's like, okay. So I go up to the tube, and I immediately get restless leg syndrome. My legs are flipping and bopping and swirl. I mean, I'm going crazy. And then this comes through the headphones. Sing me to sleep. suicide song. It is the worst possible song. In my hand, I have a little balloon that I can pump if I'm having a panic attack. And as soon as I hear the first done, it's like a 4-minute cycle of over like a little fly, so distant because I'm hearing music in the cheap, and they're like old ass Koss headphones, they're not like good headphones, through the earplugs. As soon as it's over, the first rattling, I just squeeze the balloon. Yeah. So she comes in and she pulls me out and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I don't know, I mean, I'm a man. I don't have fear, but I don't feel good in there. And she says, "Oh, do you want a blindfold?" And I look at her like, "Do you hate me? Like what kind of rational, oh, you're terrified? Do you want to lose one of your major senses in addition to what's already happening?" And I say no, and I'm talking to her, and we're going back and forth, and I'm starting to just I realize I'm doing that anxiety thing where I'm filling the time with questions, just trying to not go back in the tube, this little cylinder terror. And as I'm asking her, what if I don't go? What, I mean, will it waste this trip? And what if I come back for other ones? I've seen that you can do stand-up MRIs and put it in, and I'm asking her these questions, and as I'm talking, I see her look through the glass at the other technician and give a look it's totally one of those, we got a live one here. You know what I mean? And in my heart, I'm just I'm a man, fuck you, put me back in the tube, you know? And I go back in the tube, I have my headphones on, and the music starts up again. This hospital, I guess they don't have the budget to pay for these subscriptions, Pandora, so I get a commercial. I hear a glass break and a woman sob, and then a man says, "Every 30 seconds in the United States, a woman suffers domestic abuse." Thematically in line with the Smiths. It's a song I dance to so much. It is a great dance floor song, but in this little MRI tube, it doesn't work. I hear, "Enjoy the silence." And I realize that I feel this coolness on the side of my face, and I realize I'm crying. I am sobbing, and then I realize that there's a camera, and that they can see me in there, laying there, just delicately trying not to squeeze the balloon, you know? Crying, and I take this really deep breath, and I have this panic moment. People talk about car accidents, how everything goes in slow motion for a minute, and I kind of beam out of that little tube, and I look at the room, and I look at this multi-million-dollar machine, and I think of all the trained staff that are there, and I see my stupid little white ankle sock feet sticking out of the end of this giant machine, and I start to think about the last few years of my life. 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and I had 155 pounds on. I was really sick that I got down to 117 pounds. I called it my Johnny Depp cheekbone face. People would tell me, "You look great," and I was like, "Thanks, I'm dying." And it was such a horrible time because I didn't have the means and the resources to take care of myself. And I just remind myself that in that moment, I did. And it was a beautiful experience, and a lot of people don't have it. And the anxiety of being in this space for another 20-minute cycle of MRIs is nothing compared to the anxiety of feeling sick and feeling like I'm dying and having issues that I can't resolve because I don't have the means to. So I just took a deep breath and I relaxed, and I went through 20 more minutes of rattling, and then I heard Becky come through my headphones and say, "Mr. Crabb, we're all done." At which point, I squeeze the balloon and say, "Get me out, Becky! Get me out of the machine! Get me, please!" At which point, she runs in with all her pink marimbas rattling, and she ejects me, and I sit up, and everything in me wants to just wrap my arms around her and hug her, but I don't, because I'm a man without fear. A few days later, they told me what was wrong. I found out that I tore my labrum. They found arthritis. The doctor thinks I've been dislocating my shoulder for 3 years and relocating. It is a mess in here. But you know what? It's not really that surprising because, like I said, I'm about to be 40. And you know what? I couldn't be happier about it. Thank you.